Hey everybody, get the tripod in a good spot there. Got my hat on. All right. Anybody? Let's wait for somebody to join us here first. All right, who's joined us? We got one person. Well, whomever it is, welcome. So basically, yeah, what I wanted to do this morning, and it's still very early in the morning. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. Um, it's currently 10 below zero Fahrenheit, with a wind chill of 24 below zero Fahrenheit, which means in Celsius it is currently 23 below zero with a wind chill of 31 below zero. So yeah, it's chilly out. But what I wanted to do this morning on my last day off for the New Year break was to just kind of live stream with you and just talk a little bit about kind of where I've been this last year with BookTube and where I want to go. So I've got some notes which I'm going to be referring to a lot, but also I mean if you guys have questions too, I'll try to be able to do multiple things at once and read the questions and respond to the questions and hey Claudia, Happy New Year. Yeah, I was wondering how many of you over there in Europe would be able to join in. Howdy. Okay. Um, so basically, and I've talked about a little bit about this stuff in the past, but not too much. Um, so 12 months ago, I didn't even know BookTube existed. I had no idea. YouTube for me was, I mean, it was exclusively a place where I went to watch movie trailers, to watch old Scorpions videos. I also really enjoy watching like drum covers and guitar covers. Especially lately, I've been watching a lot of guitar covers of the Final Countdown solo, and so that's what I did with YouTube. And then last spring, I have a chronic medical condition, and sometimes like I'm just laid up, like I can't do anything, and I was yeah, I was just laid up in bed for a couple of weeks, and I was depressed, and it had just completely derailed my weight loss, and at that point, over a period of just a few months, I had lost like 22 pounds or something like that, and I've gained a lot of that back, and so I'm hoping to kind of reverse course again this year, and weight loss is something I've done successfully in the past. Yeah, at one point I lost over a period of like 2 years, 2.5 years, I lost 90 pounds just watching what I ate and exercising a few times a week. But anyway, so yeah, so I was laid up in bed. I was home from work. I was depressed, and I was on YouTube, and I was looking for interviews or reviews to do with Christian Wyman, who's one of my favorite poets and who's written a memoir that I really loved. And anyway, so I think I just typed in like Christian Wyman review, something like this, and it brought up a lot of different things, and but one of the things, it was the thumbnail of this young woman holding up a stack of books, and it was like a monthly wrap up video, and I could see in the books that she was holding, I could see My Bright Abyss by Christian Wyman. Maybe Claudia, maybe this is where my disdain for those stacks of books that people hold up with the spines facing away from the camera, maybe that's where it comes from. Because if she had been holding up a stack of books where I couldn't see the spines, I probably never would have clicked on the video. I would have been like, why in the hell has this come up in a search for Christian Wyman reviews and interviews? But because I saw that spot and I clicked on her video, and it was the channel was called Bookish Princess, I think, and I originally subscribed. I mean, it was the very first BookTube channel that I had come across, and but I couldn't stay with that channel for very long. There was just way too much pink, um, yeah, way too much pink and way too much kind of Disney princess love on that channel. But she had really great things to say about the Christian Wyman book. And I think in that video, she made reference to BookTube, which I had never heard of, and I thought it was a website. And so I went searching. I looked for BookTube.com. There wasn't anything, and I couldn't find squat about it. And I don't know how long it took me to find out or to realize, but I eventually realized that it was this community of readers. Howdy. This community of readers here on YouTube, and so I just started kind of investigating, and I found a number of channels, and subscribed to a number of channels right at the outset. And it's funny, but those original channels, the original literary channels that I subscribed to, I don't think I subscribe to any of them anymore. Because as I've been on BookTube and figured out what I like and what I need from it, et cetera, those channels just don't fit the bill. Hey, Joseph. Morning. Happy New Year. I'm really sniffly. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I hope I don't have to blow my nose at some point. But anyway, so that's how I found out about BookTube, and I started just watching these channels, watching these videos, and I pretty quickly realized this was something I wanted to try to do, but I didn't know. Happy New Year! I didn't know if I was going to be able to, right? Like, I had never filmed a video, I'd never done anything like that, and I wasn't sure, was I going to have to buy a camera? Was I going to have to buy editing software? So I started looking into editing software, how much it cost, how difficult it would be to use. Started looking for BookTube videos that address these questions, kind of what technology other people used. and when it became clear to me that I could do this with my iPad, and that there was iMovie software that was available to me for free on the iPad, yeah, that's when I kind of got serious about it. And Kelly was very supportive from the beginning. She could see how intense I was about kind of studying the etiquette of the community. I think my inclination would have been to kind of come in like a bull in a china shop, which would have been bad. But when I realized that would have been bad, and I started just really studying kind of the standards, I guess, how we do things here, how y'all do things here. Yeah, I mean, Kelly could see that this was something I was taking really seriously, and that this wasn't going to be a kind of passing fad interest of any kind, and so she was very, very supportive of it. And so we bought a tripod and a little mount for the tripod so that we could actually use our iPads on it, which was trickier to find than you would think. We had to get it from like a seller through Amazon or something, but. And that's kind of how it all got started, really. And I feel like it kind of rescued me in some way. Like, I was at such a low base in my life with the medical stuff that was going on, and how depressed I felt about that. And I really feel like BookTube kind of lifted me out of it. Jasmine from Jasmine's Reads was the first BookTuber who, and I think it was before I had the channel, when I was still kind of thinking about the channel and what to do. She was the first person from the community that I started corresponding with through Goodreads, and she was so supportive and patient with me and encouraging and just really kind. So I think for those of you who like my channel, a lot of the fact that I'm here with this channel has to do with Jasmine and just how encouraging she was. So thank Jasmine in part two. But yeah, so the rest is kind of history. But I find it odd that 12 months ago, I didn't even know what this was. And now, 12 months on, it has become such a central part of my life that uh, there's really kind of no accounting for it. I mean, so I often will talk in life about how the older we get, I really think the older a person gets, the more difficult it is to make good friends. Right? We're really good at making close friends when we're kids, but as we get older, life kind of gets in the way, and we have responsibilities and jobs and mortgages and blah blah blah, and it becomes more and more difficult to make close friends. And I have made such close friends here in this community. Um, and some other things that it has done for me, which are just remarkable to me, is that it has provided the teacher in me, the dormant teacher in me, a platform, an outlet to kind of be a teacher again. I was a teacher for a lot of years before I got into radio, and I feel like I can kind of do that now with my videos, or with the Mortality Project that I've got that's starting this month actually, um, and uh, and also with Kelly coming on the BookTube. It has really reawakened in her a love of books. She's had a really fraught relationship with books and with libraries over the last 5 or 6 years. It's complicated. I won't go into it. But she had really fallen out of love with literature, and BookTube has kind of rescued literature for her, and I'm just tremendously grateful to it for that. It's also given me, with the BookTube MVP video that I did the other day mentioning Johnny Keene, that really put me in mind of the fact that BookTube has given me new heroes actually as well. And I don't mean just like mentors or people that I look up to. But yeah, so many of you I really kind of regard as heroes. You, all of us who do this, on some level, like it requires so much courage to do this, and just a ridiculous amount of courage, and it's frightening, and it just sort of plays hell with our anxieties, and so the fact that we do this, that so many of us do this, I just find it truly heroic. Like I don't think that I'm exaggerating. I don't think that's hyperbole at all. And it's also spurred me on to read more than I have in years. And granted, I don't read much. I finished 28 books in 2018. I thought it was going to be 29 because I thought I would get through Lincoln and the Bardo more quickly than I am. But yeah, I plan to finish Lincoln and the Bardo. I'll probably finish it tomorrow, is my guess. It's awesome, by the way. If you haven't read Lincoln and the Bardo, I really feel like it might be a work of genius. So that's really nice to kind of begin 2019 setting the bar high like that. But yeah, I mean, so I think last year I read 25 books, or in 2017 I read like 25 books or something like this. The year before that, maybe 24. So 28 books in a year was more than I've read in, I don't know, 5 years or 6 years, 7 years, maybe 8 years. So that was exciting for me, and it's really exciting for me to feel confident in the likelihood that I'm going to read even more in 2019. So, where do I want to take the channel this year, or where do I anticipate the channel going this year? What do I want to see happen on the channel? What do I want to come from the channel in 2019? So 3 things. So the first thing is my mortality class. Okay, you carry a coffin with you. You carry a coffin with you today. I want that class to just really be a success, and by success I don't mean like 100 people participating. I don't mean that at all. If I only have 3 people participating on and off with that class throughout the year, and it really matters to them, and it really does something good for their soul, then that's going to be a perfect success for me. Um, it's not about numbers; it's about how much the people who are actually participating get out of it. And when I did my Christmas Carol read toward the end of this last month, um, I really feel like when all was said and done, I really feel like I did that reading, and I didn't know it going into it, but I feel like I did that reading for Brian at Bookish, for Aaron Wilson, and for Jay Shea. Like the three of them seem to have taken so much from watching slash listening to me sit here and read A Christmas Carol over a period of 5 nights that I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't go back and not spend that 4.5 or 5 hours reading that book. It meant so much to those three people in particular that was enough. That made it wildly successful for me. And so the same thing with my mortality project. If I only have 3 or 4 or 5 people throughout the year participating in a really kind of substantive way, as long as it means something really really important to them, that will be success enough for me. That will make all of the work that I do with it worth it. The second thing that I wanted to talk about, I can't reveal any details about, but there is a new major read along coming that will be co-hosted by myself, Lukash from Totally Pretentious, and Alex from Big Al Books. It's top secret right now. The details are top secret, but we will be making kind of preliminary announcement videos. See you, Joseph. We'll be making preliminary announcement videos on January 31st. So watch this space for that, because that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. We've been kind of planning it for 6 weeks now, 2 months, and so be on the lookout for that. And then the third thing I wanted to mention is the BookTube Prize that Robert from Barter Hordes has put together, and I'm going to be one of I think 3 or 4 dozen judges on the BookTube Prize, and so it's always been kind of I've always really wanted to judge a literary prize. Now the problem with wanting that for somebody like me is one, I'm not famous, so I'm not going to ever be asked to judge a literary prize, a major literary prize. But how cool would it be to judge the Booker Prize? How freaking cool would that be, really? So I'm not famous, so I don't have to worry about ever being asked. But I'm also a really slow reader, and to judge those prizes, you have to be able to read 100, 150, 200 books in 6 months or 8 months, something like this. And there's no way in hell I would ever be able to do that. So even if I were famous and were to be asked to be a judge for the Booker Prize, I wouldn't be able to do it. But the way that Robert has set up the judging for the BookTube Prize, with the rounds and such, I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to actually be able to judge a round, maybe even 2 rounds, but certainly 1 round. I am on board to judge, what is it, I think April, May, and I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. I'm so excited for this. It's kind of ridiculous, actually, and that's a sign, I suppose, of just how geeky I am, and all of us kind of are here in the community, is that we get that excited about. That's a pretty dorky thing to be really thrilled about, but I'm just tickled by it. During the whole process of it, I just can't even wait. I don't know, are we, the judges who are judging, like, are we going to be able to, like, have conversations with each other? Just like judges for the Booker Prize do, like, they try to kind of, sway each other, pull each other around thinking this way or that way about a book. I have no idea what it's going to look like, but it's going to be fun as shit, I'm sure. So essentially, those are just a handful of the places that I plan to take the channel here in the next year. I'm going to be judging the BookTube Prize. I'm going to be launching a new read along with Lukash and Alex from Big Al Books, and then my mortality class, which should be a lot of fun, I think, and should be really just kind of intellectually rigorous. And yeah, I feel like it's gonna check a lot of boxes for me, for my soul. But that's what's going to happen here, I hope, anyway, in the next 12 months. And that's really kind of essentially what I wanted to share with you guys today. Just give you a sense of where I came from, in this last year, like how I kind of arrived at BookTube, what it's meant to me, and where I hope to take this channel in the next year. I still just find it insane that there's like 650 views, something like that, subscribing to the channel right now. I mean, that's crazy to me. And even if only like 50 of those 655 people actually watch the videos on a reasonably regular basis, that's I didn't see that coming. I didn't anticipate that. I can't think of any good way to thank you guys enough for watching and for supporting the channel. So, and by supporting, I mean watching. I don't have a Patreon or anything like that. I'm not interested in having a Patreon or anything, but yeah, it's just a hobby for me, and it's just a way of connecting with people, making friends, and you guys have made it such a pleasure over this last 9 months or whatever that I've been on here. So thank you for that. Before I sign off, do you guys have any questions for me? I see there are 5 of you watching. Is there anything that you'd like to know before I call this good and go outside in minus 20 degree weather and bring out the snowblower? Yeah, agreed. It's a wonderful place. I feel like it's a place that is unspoiled. I feel like it's a kind of Eden or a kind of utopia in the world. And even though there are trolls in it now and then, I don't know. I think anybody who would be capable of ruining it as an environment doesn't know about it. And I don't know. And it's so large and it's so kind of sprawling. I just can't think of any way that even like just a massive shithead would be able to ruin it. Sort of, whole cloth. I don't see how that would be possible. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's this perfect little preserve, and I just feel so blessed that I found it. But anyway, all right. Well, let's see. I don't think there are any other questions. No. Happy New Year, you guys. And wish me luck with the snowblower this morning. And I will see you guys again. Call my channel Brigadoon. Oh, Brigadoon would be a cool channel name. Yeah, that would be a really cool channel name. Brigadoon Books, something like that. Briga Books. No, Brigadoon's great. That's a cool movie too. But yeah, I'm off out into the freezing ass cold to clear the driveway. So I will see you guys again soon. I should have my video on The Buried Giant up tonight. So if you've read that book, please tune in for the video, because that's going to be fun to talk about. That was a difficult book in a lot of ways. Thank you. But I ended up really loving it, and I wasn't always sure I was going to. So I will see you guys in that next video. Adios.